So my lighting is bad. I'm Susan Hendricks. I'll have to do it like this. I'm Susan Hendricks, and I'm the host of the podcast, My Story Living with Lupus. I am a lupus survivor and thriver. But I want to talk to you today, excuse my lighting, I want to talk to you today about the what ifs in life before I go to the doctor. Let me say this before I start talking about it. I am not only a lupus survivor and a thriver, I'm a podcast host. I have a nonprofit, the Charlie E. and Minnie P. Hendricks Foundation for Chronic Illness Awareness. Also, I'm an ex-entrepreneur. I have several degrees in the medical field, in the field of health and science. I am not an MD, but I am a PhD. I hold a master's and a bachelor's degree. Okay, let's get into it. I was sitting in our upstairs den the other day, and I was sitting in the dark, and my sister came in, and she said, "What are you doing sitting in the dark?" And I told her, I said, "Oh, I'm just thinking. I'm trying to center myself." This lighting is really bad, so excuse me on Periscope. I told her I was trying to center myself. And she asked me again, "What are you thinking about?" And when I was getting ready to exit the den, I told my sister, "What if?" And she looked at me and stated, "What if what?" And I said, "Have you ever thought about the what ifs in life?" I'm trying to move this around so I can get better lighting. Let me open the blind up a little bit more for Periscope. That's not helping any, but I'll fix the lighting situation later. And she said, "No, I haven't." And she said, "You're deep. You're always thinking in deep thoughts." I said, "No, realistically, what if?" And she said, "You gave me something to think about." She said, "I have never thought about it before, but I want you to understand where I'm coming from. I've been dealing with this illness called lupus ever since the age of 5. So that's 54 years that I have been dealing with this illness. I am now 59. I'll be 60 in one more year on January the 7th of next year. But in actuality, I did not get clinically diagnosed until 2004. And as a child, and now that I'm older and wiser, the what ifs never came to mind. You know, I was one of those kids that was stubborn, and but I was determined to live the rest of my life out to the fullest, even at the age of 5. I was determined to do that. And what I want everybody to know, regardless of whatever you're going through, the conditions that the doctors may say that you have, your life is not over. Sure, my family and friends get concerned about me because I'll jump up in a minute and somebody said, "Well, let's take a trip to this place or that place." I'll jump up in a minute and say, "Okay, it's no problem." I have no problem with that. That's a little bit better. I have no problem with that. But other people will sit and say, if I shoulda, woulda, coulda. I don't have time for that. And that should not even enter your mind about the if I woulda, coulda, shoulda. I can't get this lighting right, and that's messing me up. But I'm going to continue to go on. So, what if? Now, I did this what if on my podcast this morning. The what ifs are boundless like stars. It doesn't help to waste your time thinking about would have beens. You can no longer afford to deal with the would have beens. I consider the would have beens in the past. They're lost in time, and you can never regain the would have beens back. Now, but you know, some people will hear what other people say about them, and they take it at heart. And I want to ask you this. What if you cared less about what people said about you? It's your life. It's your life to live, and you have to live it to the fullest. You can't let other people's opinions about you influence your life. Now, what if you stated that you wanted to travel at a particular point in time, places that you have always dreamed about going? What's stopping you? How can I put this? Do you always catch yourself saying that you'll go to Jamaica, maybe London, maybe Athens, maybe Venice, and for those who are kids at heart, maybe Disney World one day? As if the future is promised to you. But it's not. The future is not promised to any of us. See, the places you want to see, go see as soon as you can. Take chances. Go on spontaneous road trips. Travel. Experience life. See the world. And discover along the way who you really are. What if you would have faced your fears? You see, your fears can keep you from trying many new things. So why not force yourself to face them? Perhaps in the bravery of doing so, you will learn more about yourself and even become less afraid. Don't allow your fears to still have their hold on your life. What if you didn't waste your time on things that don't matter? And the majority of us do that. But why put yourself through that? Put down your phone, get off of Instagram, get off of Twitter, because whatever is posted, you'll forget about it in 2 days. And it really doesn't matter. Do something that you enjoy. Now, this is to all the ones who are suffering with a chronic illness. What if you were laying in a hospital bed, sick, so sick, and the thoughts entered your mind? What if I had spoken up? What if I had asked questions? What if I only listened to my gut? What if I went by my first mind? What if we understood that life is to be lived to the fullest? You know, with these thoughts in mind, permit me to introduce you to a little big word that should challenge you to think. If, the little big word. Little, and that it is only 2 letters in length. And big, in that it can make a difference. So, what if? I try to get people on my podcast, even though we may be ill, you have to push through. Don't let your illness control you. What if you were not so afraid when you went into your doctor's appointment that you opened your mouth and told the doctor, I'm taking back control of my health care. So I'm going to sit here and ask all the questions I want to. And I expect you, as a physician, to tell me the answers to every question that I am answering. What if you took a stance? What if you educated yourself about your condition? What if you live your life to the fullest? I am trying to get individuals, especially individuals within the Black community, to think about the what ifs. Leave the shoulda, woulda, couldas alone. You can't grab that back. You have to live for today, because the next hour, the next second is not promised to us. So what if? Just what if? I want you to think about that. Now, I have an appointment this morning, and I wanted to get out on here and just ask, what if? Become empowered. What if you became empowered? You ever thought about that? Don't just sit back and take anything from anybody. Please follow me on my Instagram at I am Lupus, Twitter at story_Lupus, and also check out my YouTube page, My Story Living with Lupus. Like I said, I got to go to the endocrinologist this morning. And if you're wondering, if I'm wondering about what if, I'm not worried about any new diagnosis that they come up with, because I have researched it myself. I already know what they're going to say when I walk in that door. So it's no what ifs with me. Get up, get empowered, become knowledgeable, and leave the what ifs behind and go forward in your life. I'm Susan Hendricks for My Story Living with Lupus. Everyone have a great Friday. And to those of you who celebrate Valentine's Day, happy Valentine's Day. And my Valentine's Day was getting up this morning. God woke me up. So that was a gift within itself. So thank you. Bye-bye.